All right, everybody, welcome to another fantastic edition of reviewing Total Annihilation games. What we got here today for you is a game from 2013 between RVD and Melfice, of course, the Irish speed clicking RVD versus Melfice, who I did play with. Um, I know he may you may watch this game. He was an interesting character, fairly erratic, but he's fun to get a game with every now and then. When if he was in one of his moods, though, he could easily become one of those players that when you're getting in a team game with them, that would just kind of mess everything up. But I guess as time passed after my time, he actually upped his game a little bit, and that seems to be the case for a lot of people. The map we're on here right now is Voi Vittu, which is uh, some Finnish words. Um, and I won't describe their meanings though because I don't believe that they're actually YouTube appropriate. So one of the things to note about this map right here is that it is actually kind of a really well-rounded map that forces you to contest just about everything. So you'll see here you start on opposite sides of this lake, surrounded by these generous +2 metal extractors right here, and above you you've got these cliffs and this entire streak of land right here, again, covered with these fairly widely spaced metal extractors. So they're close enough together that you really want to get them, but they're far enough apart that it makes it difficult for them to defend. It makes it difficult to defend them. Here we have these nice underwater +2 metal resources as well, so getting in the water will yield dividends. And if my memory serves me right, I believe tidal actually works on this map. We also have these ulak trees right here, which will give you 50 metal and 150 energy, and then also more metal over here. So if you decide you want to go air and push out that fast air con, you've also got some rewards there. So it actually makes it, strategically speaking, a very interesting map to play. I was never good at this map because I was only good at handling a few things at a time. And so this map was quite difficult for me to play. I did have my fair share of wins on it, but I wasn't nearly as good as RVD was on it. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I don't know the outcome of this one right here, but we'll go ahead and take a peek, see how these two do. So you see, we got both players who are starting wind, and now you see other people talking here, and they're all watchers, um, and so they're taking a peek at what's going on. This is the normal speaker. I'll go ahead and crank it up so until we can get to see what each of them decide to do. RVD puts out a single one and then goes for the walk, whereas Melfice decides that he wants to go air first. So I like it being bold against somebody like RVD. A lot of players would be like, "Oh, there's no way I can beat him with the air game." Melfice is saying he's going to go for it. Again, that gives him the option of going down and trying to snag these. RVD is going for the building strategy first here and um, putting up a vehicle lab. Rick talking about how he's not as good as Melfice or RVD in his older age. Crippler was Rick's name. So now you can also see here, right as Melfice got that bomber done, his air lab disappeared. While he was doing the bomber, whenever he ran out of energy, he was stopping his commander guarding and reclaiming the air facility. So he decided not to put out the con and to snag the extra resource, and instead just gets that bomber out and starts going on some bomber runs. Now you can see RVD is ready for this here. He's actually got some defenders up. He's also got his radar tower going, so he's probably going to see that bomber coming in before it's ready. But you can see how fast that bomber is, and he's only going to be behind by about 2 cons, it looks like, although he hasn't been producing as much metal as RVD has. You see how RVD's missile towers aimed and fired before it got there. And then it looked like Tomcat was spamming. And then this is what some people would do: is they would use the macro setup to send messages to players in game. That was something I always found really annoying. So the bomber survived, which actually works out really well for Melfice. He gets to go bomb again. RVD has to recap his metal extractor, so you can see how he stops producing out of his vehicle plan. Rick's saying that RVD has bet 1 million pounds that Melfice won't be able to beat him here. I hope that's not Rick's money. But right now, things seem to be in RVD's favor. That bomber just didn't nearly do enough damage. It was a good run. And Melfice has probably marked those missile towers. Going in for another attack run. Hits one of the missile towers, loses the bomber. And that's it. Melfice says BS. Now we have Melfice with the con. 2 cons going here. And to RVD's 2. You can see all these other people are coming up, but the 2 we're most interested in here are Melfice and RVD. So Melfice is pulling 8 metal, RVD's pulling 10 at this point. Now the reason why it shows Melfice's metal income so high is he reclaimed his air facility. Now Melfice reclaims his vehicle plant as well, and he goes ahead and he drops it into the water. He's going to go ahead and try and rush that sea. RVD is just simply patiently building at this point. It's an unusual amount of missile towers for Mr. RVD here. He must still be worried about another bomber coming in. You might be wondering why Melfice put this out. He's probably anticipating some kind of Jeffy raid. He doesn't want to lose everything down here to a bunch of small scouts. See, RVD's actually taking that strategy. RVD accusing Melfice of lagging. That's very typical of him. That's how you know it's a genuine RVD if he complains if things don't go his way. Melfice puts out a con first, whereas RVD is going straight to the skeeters at this point, contesting the sea. See why this is why Melfice went ahead and put up that missile tower. 2 shots from a missile takes out a Jeffy. Takes 3 to kill a weasel, for all you people wondering out there for core players. RVD's grabbing a Tomcat for being obnoxious, I agree. Doing that constantly gets you kicked out of games. RVD's got his raiding party ready. You can see now Melfice is at 4K to RVD's 3 here, but a lot of that has to do again with the reclaiming of that air lab early on. The battle begins. RVD wants to raid here, that's his intention. Takes out that metal extractor. They're both using their commanders to guard out skeeters to try and contest the water. You can just simply see, based on the numbers, RVD's in the lead. Go ahead and boost up the speed here. Skeet battles tend to be a lot of back and forth. RVD knows Melfice went air first. He's going to go down here and check. Doesn't see anything. RVD's got his con out. Going ahead and he's putting up some titles for some additional energy. Neither player playing really seriously here on the land. Both content to focus. That's the title con there, RVD. Come on, fix your stuff. Everybody's looking sluggish in this one right here. I'm a little surprised. Melfice got more mechs capped. Take a look at this again here. Melfice is up by 2 on RVD at this point because due to the capped mexes. RVD also didn't build a radar up here. He's building a second shipyard. Really intends to contest the sea. Melfice spots the con, but doesn't want to commit to try and destroy it. Probably a smart choice. That would leave a pretty big wreck field. Melfice has got his second shipyard up at this point. 1 uncapped mechs. See what's happening here is this is a typical con battle where you have 2 construction vehicles that are fighting against one another. And that's how they do it, is with missile towers and radar. Also use Dragon's Teeth and other assorted things. Melfice is up to 3 shipyards, really committing to the sea fight here. Just building out skeeters. 4 shipyards. See how RVD is getting the Dragon's Teeth up. Missiles can't shoot through them. They'll do a little bit of damage, but not enough to really get in there. Unfortunately, it looks like RVD hooked here. If he loses this construction vehicle, that's a really big deal. Melfice probably realizes he's got those Dragon's Teeth up. That isn't going to be a fight he's going to win. That is a ton of skeeters from Melfice. This is just sloppy if he loses that. That's really bad for Melfice to lose that con. You notice he notices it. He throws out the WTF there. And the battle starts. They're both testing each other at the sea. RVD's putting out some Crusaders. You might be wondering why they don't Crusaders earlier. Enough skeeters will take down a Crusader. Melfice realizes he's got the numbers advantage, the production advantage. He goes ahead and he presses it. This con's gonna drop. That's bad news for RVD. And he might actually get away with these Crusaders too. You can notice how RVD screens his Crusaders with these skeeters. That's the proper way to do it. Melfice switches gears. I don't know if I like this idea of trying to crank out 3 at the same time. Especially if he's not going to be able to get in there. Oh, there he goes. He knows he won the wreck field, so he goes ahead and he presses it. RVD going ahead and trying to secure that top. RVD knows he wants to contest that wreck field. Missile towers continue to shoot up here. Go ahead and slow it down so we can see what else they're doing. See here, RVD is farming winds and building metal makers. Melfice is doing the same thing over here. Neither of them have capped their geothermal yet, because that represents a significant resource investment. And really fighting over this wreck field is what they want to do. Melfice has claimed it, though. Really well, good job by him at that point. RVD's down by 5,000 metal at this point. That's significant. So this is going to be about whether or not RVD uses his units more efficiently, considering he is not in the lead. Melfice is currently at 38, RVD's at 37, but Melfice has the advantage of this wreck field right here. RVD's starting to press in on it. Sending in skeeters one at a time so his Crusaders can target. Now you can see here, this is really nice. Melfice has got his guys up over the top. He's got them targeted. RVD doesn't have his skeeters in position, and he's going to go ahead and drop one. You'll probably see him throw a fit over that. He might even drop two. And that other destroyer gets away. You have those depth charges going off. Knowing that he won this fight up here with the con war, he goes ahead and he starts farming wins. RVD actually looks like he's got this wreck field mostly controlled. Trying to build all those Crusaders all at once probably stalled Melfice out a little bit. And Melfice is short on Skeeters, so he's not going to be able to screen well enough. This is smart by RVD. He sees that Melfice is sending him one at a time. He goes ahead and he just takes him out. And this one's just hung out to dry. If he can bring down a Crusader with just Skeeters, that's good for him. Melfice pulls back. See, RVD is closing that gap right now with the metal resource, or metal production. You might hear me, I'm not really talking too much about energy. In general, that's not going to be a significant determiner of what's happening. The metal tells a bigger story. RVD has now won this wreck field. Melfice just simply, while he has a greater number of Crusaders, he doesn't have enough Skeeters to screen for those Crusaders to actually come in. And he continually positioning his Skeeters in a place where they're just getting dropped one at a time with RVD, without RVD taking significant losses. You can see here, right here, RVD kills the losses versus Melfice's kills the losses. You can see that things are much worse for Melfice. RVD's just using his units better. This pattern that he's going in right here, you can see how those depth charges are missing and shots are missing because he's driving them up and down, giving them a chance to take full advantage of their speed. This is a nice little raid try right here. Let's see if it pulls out. And he gets it. He cleans him off that metal extractor. See how some of these metal makers are off, some of them are on. He's helping balancing that. He wants to try to avoid accessing metal as best as he can. Melfice is likely marking these up. More cons are coming out. RVD really intends to win this C fight here. Now here's an interesting twist. Melfice has gone ahead and he's gone advanced K-bot. He's intending on putting out some Pelicans, which are essentially immune to Skeeters. And that'll really help diminish the effectiveness of RVD's screening force of Skeeters that he has right here. But the advantage that he's looking to gain from it might come a little too late. He's about to drop some of his Crusaders. Pelicans struggle against Crusaders. That's one of the things, especially ones that have earned their veteran status. It was good on Melfice to save that one. Here he goes. You can see the Pelicans are hitting the water. He was thinking about going air, but decided against it. RVD saying he's committed to the Crusader fight. This is... Melfice drops a Crusader. RVD probably hears that missile sound. He knows exactly what it means. Pelicans are in. He's going to bring more Crusaders into action. So you can see how the Skeeter missiles are hitting the water instead of hitting the Pelican. He brings his Crusaders in. Sinks another Crusader, drops a con. This is a bit of a mistake, driving his Pelicans that close. Without anything to... There you go. Actually, it's not a mistake. Now, you can force fire and get the Crusaders to use their depth charges on Pelicans. But you can see how good the Crusaders are at just hitting them and taking them out. And those are expensive... They're pretty expensive little things. RVD's still not going Pels on his side. I'm surprised nobody's capped their geothermal, but maybe that's why I was bad at this map, because I actually did that. Again, you can see Melfice just set the game speed to 10, recognizing that he has been overrun, and he surrenders. So I don't like his surrender there. He certainly could have had a better chance, but all those wreck fields in RVD's hands was really going to turn things for him. So it was a big, hot, fast start by Melfice, but he was unable to turn around. I don't necessarily think I like the decision to go Pelicans. But I could see why Melfice, especially considering how RVD was simply just outplaying him in the sea, how he thought it would be best to try and tech up and win the game that way. So, interesting game, good map. That's a lot closer than it would have been had it been RVD versus Melfice back in 2008 or 2010. But certainly an interesting game there. So, hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll catch you again real soon. Bye bye.